Hi, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time we're looking at a bottle of Wreckless Pale Ale from the Red Willow Brewery in Macclesfield, Cheshire. It's a pale ale, hopped with American hops. I don't know any more details than that. All the beers from Red Willow they're all called something less. There's Faithless, Heartless, Fathomless, Hairless, all sorts of kind of like less names. So this one's called Wreckless. And I asked Toby, the owner and head brewer, about it on Twitter just now, and it says it's because he was actually supposed to be brewing something else, and he got a bit bored of the beer that he was going to be brewing, and he was just making it up on the fly. So he kind of like thought it might end up being a bit of a wreck. I think I've had this on cask a few times. I've had loads of Red Willow on cask. Excuse me. But I had many bottles. I had an early test bottle of his chili chipotle smoked porter called Smokeless, and that was lovely. Anyway, let's get this in the glass. I'm very thirsty. I'm going to bypass everything else and get right into it because I need a drink. I'll come back to it though. Oh, lovely. Anyway, excuse me. So, the beer in the glass. A nice kind of orangey, kind of slightly peach edge to it. Nice amount of carbonation. I don't know if you can see it on the glass. Got quite large bubbles. The head, quite frothy, quite soapy looking white head on that. Let's have a sniff. Oh, lovely. I'm getting lime, the flesh of a lime, but definitely loads and loads of zesty orange. Yeah, there's a pithy dryness to it. There's that kind of juicy acidity of zest as well. Maybe a bit of pineapple, grapefruit, I should expect. A really nice fresh pine and a kind of like a fizz that you get in those little refresher sweets. It's like if anybody's never had them, the kind of little kind of hard candy sweets. Quite powdery. Beautiful smelling beer though. I brewed a beer quite recently, and it reminds me that I used Centennial Chinook Citra, and I would imagine there was at least one, if not two, of those hops in there. Cheers. Oh, lovely beer. Really nice and light, but with a lot of flavour. For me, it's virtually ideal. It's more about hop flavour than it is about bitterness. It's exactly the kind of beer that I like to drink. Initially, there's a fizz, but I think that's going. It's kind of like a crispness and there's a bit of a zing to it. I guess a nice clarity of flavour, and that is quite. Once again, I'm thinking of refresher sweets. It's kind of sugary but not syrupy. First off, I'm getting kind of quite fleshy orange and peach, definitely like a nice soft pale stone fruit. As the bitterness comes in, it's quite pithy orange. Mild grapefruit as it's kind of maturing a bit, as it's going down. There's a dryness at the back end as well. Once again, orange peel. I'm going with this full on juicy orange peel. It's got a bit of kind of zesty spike to it, like that kind of like that tartness, and if you bite into a bit of flesh, into a bit of orange peel. But it's got the dryness of the pith as well. Excuse me. Yeah, it's at the front. It's quite nice and palatable. Not a whole lot going on, but there's a nice sweetness to it. There's a nice kind of breakfast juice quality to it, and then the bitterness kind of kicks in, and you get a nice kind of spiky floral edge to it as well. Oh, one thing I forgot to say. 4.8%. Very respectable. Meaning in a lot of circles you could call this a beer that you could session, really. And why not? I've definitely sessioned quite a few Red Willow beers, and most of them do kind of like hang around that like 4 to 5.5% bracket. They're definitely from that kind of a new school of brewing. I mean, it's not pretty much a one-man show, not far off really. There's not very kind of like small brewery, but very popular around the north of England, definitely. I mean, we are experiencing a bit of like a resurgence of exciting, progressive UK brewing. I think we are one of the hotbeds up in the north. And I mean, Red Willow only been around for maybe 2 years now, maybe not even that. So mainly kind of sessionable kind of pale ales. Does do a coffee stout, oyster stout actually as well, yeah. Smoked porter, but yeah. Oh, actually, I'll retract that. Just talking about it. It is all sorts of styles, but they're all on that kind of that modern wavelength, really. At the end, I'm getting more of a fleshy grapefruit, but then that kind of citrus fruit sweetness kind of remains. It's really good. As you can see, I'm having no problem drinking this beer because it is a beautiful, beautiful beer. Can't go wrong with that at all. As it says on the side of the bottle, when you want a big hit of American hops and aroma, but don't want to fall off your seat, this is nicely balanced. But not over the top pale hits the spot. And I definitely agree with that. It is exactly the kind of beer that I like to drink. After having this first bottle of Wreckless, I'm certainly going to buy more because this is exactly what I like. It's definitely on the lines of the kind of that pale ale series that Kernel produced. It's all about kind of late hops, load of hop flavour, a load of aroma, keeps it nice and light, but vital and fresh and exciting. And I absolutely love it. So that is a bottle of Wreckless pale ale, 4.8%. from the Red Willow Brewery in Macclesfield. Please check these guys out online, www.redwillowbrewery.com. You can buy these beers online from Beerits. So I don't know what you're waiting around for. Get on if you're not already on your computer, which you probably are, get on your computer, get on Beerits, buy some Red Willow beer because they're one of the emerging, exciting craft breweries in the UK. Anyway, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. I'll see you next time. Cheers.